Welcome to the latest remote edition of RPPV News, bringing you stories from across the Mornington Peninsula. I'm Catie Sharp, and our top items for this edition are an update on the COVID-19 pandemic on the peninsula. 4 men are charged following an aggravated burglary in Mornington. A dubious honour for a Frankston massage parlour. Mornington Peninsula Shire releases its proposed 2020-2021 budget. And Frankston's Ballum Park gets a facelift. Now for the full stories. First up today, we go straight to RPPV's Shivani Pillay for an update on the effect the pandemic is having on Frankston and the peninsula.
Hello, I'm Shivani Pillay at my home on the hill. Well, it was a much quieter Easter long weekend on the peninsula, with residents bunkering down and abiding by restrictions, although there still seems to be quite a few visitors, despite pleas from the Mayor and the community for everyone to stay at home. COVID-19 cases are decreasing nationwide, and in our part of the world on the Mornington Peninsula, figures have remained steady with 55 recorded cases as at Easter Monday. Stage 3 restrictions in Victoria have been extended until the 12th of May. The message is not to become complacent, keep respecting social distancing guidelines, and keep well mentally and physically. Victorians displaying symptoms such as fever, chills, or breathing problems are encouraged to get themselves tested. A concern has been raised nationally and on the peninsula about the rise of family violence and enforced in isolation. If you or someone you know needs help, call 1-800-737-732. The Shire's Caring for Our Community initiative has launched. Care packages for food and hygiene products will be delivered to people who are unwell, isolated, or have no local support. You can register to receive a delivery by calling the Shire on 1300 850 600. If you'd like to help, you can volunteer with packing and distribution. Just get in touch with the Shire. Remember, all public Anzac Day events on the Mornington Peninsula have been cancelled. The RSL is asking that people stand in their yards, driveways, or on their balconies and observe a minute's silence as the last post is played during the dawn service. The service will be streamed online at RSL Victoria's Facebook page at 6 a.m. The Shire's library staff have created a social hub on the library website to connect with everyone in isolation. The hub links to things such as Social Distance Festival, which publishes a calendar of free online concerts, plays, readings, and live theatre performances from around the world. It has advice as to wellness and ideas for keeping the children busy. For the grown-ups, it offers those working from home links to training and resources to help move and improve businesses online. On Tuesday and Thursdays at 11 a.m, stories, songs and crafts are streamed live on Facebook for young book lovers. Mornington Peninsula's Regional Gallery is offering virtual exhibition tours and has created online arts and craft activities for the children. Go to their website and support our local arts community. The key message from our Shire Mayor, Sam Hearn, this week is not to be isolated in a social sense. Mayor Hearn says, while we really need the hygiene and the distance between each other physically, we still want people really socially pulling together, texting people, calling people, checking in on your neighbours from the front door, doing those things to make sure that everyone's going okay at this time. And that's the COVID-19 update. I'm Shivani Pillay. Back to you, Catie.
Thank you, Shivani. 4 men have been charged with aggravated burglary after a break-in in Mornington over the Easter weekend. The men from Rosebud, Mornington and Safety Beach woke up the residents of the house which they had ransacked before escaping. The escape vehicle was later found crashed in the front yard of a house in Merricks North. Police arrested the men soon afterwards and they faced charges this week. A Frankston massage parlour has become the first in the state to be booked for breaching coronavirus restrictions. According to the leader, police stated that they observed non-essential services being undertaken, though they did not elaborate what that meant. A male client was fined $1,652, as was the female employee, and the business was fined $9,913. When we return, RPPV's Deborah Ma continues her discussion on the effects the outbreak is having on the local industry.
More and more people with a taste for quality are shopping at Eliza Meats. Kevin and his lean team pride themselves on the finest cuts, from juicy steaks and roasts to high-grade mince and sausages. And Eliza Meats are the gourmet specialists. Inquire about Eliza Meats Spitfire. Phone 9787 4473 for a mouth-watering meal fit for a king. It's all at Eliza Meats. See our sponsor Kevin at Eliza Meats, 112B Mount Eliza Way, a station sponsor.
Hi everyone, it's Sam Hearn here with another update in the middle of the COVID-19 challenge that we're facing at the moment. I guess a key message at this time is while we really need the hygiene and the distance between each other physically, we still want people really socially pulling together, texting people, calling people, checking in on your neighbours from outside the front door, doing those things to make sure everyone's going okay at this time. We need to make it through this together. We need to not be isolated in a social sense. We're together in this. And on that space, practically, if you want to be involved in our Caring for Our Community initiative, we've already got quite a number of Shire staff on the ground delivering packages. Go to our website if you're interested in being involved, and there's a portal where volunteers can register their interest in supporting our community over the coming months. Thanks everyone, stay safe, catch you soon.
Welcome back. With Peninsula tourist numbers dwindling and the hospitality and retail sectors forced to board off staff, we look at the financial risks to local small businesses and ask, will government support packages help? Deborah Ma begins her coverage with a prominent local winemaker from Crittenden Estate.
Rollo Crittenden, winemaker of Crittenden Estate in Dramana, joins me today to discuss the current crisis and how it is affecting the hospitality and tourism industry on the peninsula and what's going to happen in the short term and the long term. Welcome to RPPV, Rollo, and thank you for your time today.
Hi Deborah, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Yes. Now, as I said, the industry down here, we sort of survive on it, don't we? For people coming down to visit us, and especially too in your wine cellar, you'd have a lot of people coming in, tasting wines, and then maybe going to the restaurant or going to other restaurants and wineries around the peninsula. How's it affecting what's, how we're dealing with this down here?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's obviously to everyone that will be listening to 3RPP, I'm sure that they're very aware that tourism is one of our major forms of revenue as a region. We, whether it's, as you say, accommodation or restaurants or golf or recreational facilities, we rely very heavily on it, and it's safe to say that this isolation, which is obviously very necessary, has had a major negative impact on thousands of businesses down here.
Now, we've just come out of Easter. We wouldn't have seen too many people down here. They were told to stay in their own postcodes. In the short term, we know that people in wine vineyards are doing click and collect, or doing a bit of a trade through people buying online. Is that the case with the industry down here for you guys?
Yeah, very much. If you take our winery operation and our property here in Dramana as an example, Easter is one of our major public sort of holiday weekends of the year for visitation and for sales. We actually closed our cellar door for all 4 days of Easter. We just decided that it wasn't the right thing to do and wasn't warranted to open. Although we don't run it ourselves, we lease out to Zach Bullier, the restaurant Stillwater here on the site. That was obviously closed as well, so no visitation to the restaurant. My wife Linda runs our accommodation business, Lakeside Villas, and they were vacant over the Easter break. And so, as you can see, there is no money coming in. Interestingly, we are relying quite heavily on phone-generated wine sales and website sales, but very few over the weekend. And I think that people did just take this break to spend time with their family, perhaps enjoy the wines that they've been purchasing previously, and cook up some nice food at home, and just to have some, I guess, some normality in a pretty crazy world. So we had no revenue over what would normally be a huge weekend.
And if that's the case with you, it's going to be the case with most, hospitality and wineries on the peninsula. Now, the federal government is offering a JobKeeper survival package, if you like. Now, they're going to pay their employees $1,500 per fortnight to keep staff, and that's going to cost $130 billion to the Australian economy. Now, is this going to help, do you think, industry, especially the tourism and hospitality industry?
Yeah, look, I definitely think it's going to help. It really depends on individual businesses, how they operate their business and the model that they have adopted to run. So for example, a lot of places that have winery restaurants who operate a restaurant at their winery themselves, they may not be able to sort of tap into the full extent of the JobKeeper support package, because perhaps they might use casual labour who they're not inclined to stay on. There are still some costs associated with retaining staff through this. So we're quite lucky, I guess, that we can although a lot of our staff have reduced their hours that they're working for our full-time staff, we can actually use the JobKeeper to keep them busy. And we've redeployed people within the business to other areas. If their part of the business, I guess, has diminished in their needs, we can get them doing other things. So yes, we will be able to, I'm hoping, get all of our sort of 12 full-time employees onto the JobKeeper subsidy, which is a great relief, and for both the employees and for us as an employer.
Yes. Well, even the state government is offering an economic survival and job package, and also the Shire down here is offering a similar package. And that's more to support businesses in the way of providing packages to help them survive, basically, and put in strategies to stay afloat. And how do you recognise when things aren't going well? So hopefully that will help as well. There's not really that much of a monetary value there, but it's just a support network where they'd have webinars and discussions, I guess. Would you be interested in doing that, especially people in your industry? Would that help you?
Yeah, look, I think it's important to be well informed at the moment as to what's available, and making sure that you don't potentially get caught up in some of the pitfalls and be claiming subsidies that you're not entitled to, and then having to pay them back in due course. I think that's really important. And just to knowing what's out there and available. And so there's lots of people like the Shire, and of course there's the Committee for Mornington Peninsula, who are doing a great job in disseminating, in distilling and disseminating information out to businesses. We've got the Mornington Peninsula Vignerons Association, who are also collating a lot of that information as it becomes available, reinterpreting it to how it works for the wine industry, and then getting it out to the MPVA members, who are there's over 60 members down here. So look, I think all of these sort of regional bodies, industry bodies, are really important at the moment to help understand what's available.
So what next? Do you think we're going to come out the other side looking pretty good, or is there any feeling in your industry how we are going to look the other side of this?
Yeah, look, I was very despondent about 3 weeks ago when the ramifications started to hit home, and we realised we had a crisis meeting with all of our staff, and really had to sort of have some pretty hard hitting discussions around reducing hours and of course reducing people's pay. The sad reality is, with restaurants closed, and I'm speaking for all Mornington Peninsula and Australian wineries for that matter, with restaurants closed, we see a dramatic drop in our revenue. And you have to look at the Mornington Peninsula wine industry. I think we would probably be pretty representative, whereby 70% of our sales go into restaurants, and 30% into bottle shops. And that would be pretty normal, being a premium product down here on the Mornington Peninsula. Yes. So it's really going to hit home. And I think that the bit of solace that I do take is, in the last 3 weeks, we've been able to sort of reinvent, re-strategize, work out where we can keep some money coming in, definitely work out where we can cut some costs out of the business, of course, cut down on all capital expenditure, and really just sort of give ourselves a strategy. We don't know how long this is going to go on for, but the classic talk at the moment is 6 months. That's what everyone keeps saying. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it's longer. But we have set ourselves up, reviewed our cash flows, and made sure that we'll survive, certainly for 6 months and beyond if needs be, with a slightly different business model. And I think it's just time to reinvent and reinvigorate. And I've got to say, our entire staff has just been amazing at coming up with great ideas of how to reinvent and how to re-strategize, and also how to just support and be there and go above and beyond.
I think that's amazing. The key, isn't it? That's the key, where businesses really have to draw on all their resources and become creative to survive in the world that we live in. Well, I know at the end of this, there'll be one big world party, I think, where we're going to start going out and giving each other a hug and going out to restaurants and the lifestyle that we're used to, especially living on the beautiful Mornington Peninsula.
Absolutely, yeah. Look, fingers crossed it doesn't go on for too much longer. I think a little while, but once it's all done, I hope that some normality will return, and I hope that all of the small businesses out there, hospitality-based or otherwise, do manage to make it through, because we have some wonderful people down here and some great businesses, and it would be a shame to lose anyone through this process. So,
well said. Thank you so much for your time today, Rollo, and good luck.
Thanks, Deborah. Appreciate it. Thank you.
That was Deborah Marr with that report. The Mornington Peninsula Shire has released its proposed 2020-2021 budget for public comment. Property rates will rise by 2%, in line with the cap imposed by the state government, providing the Shire with $191.6 million towards an overall predicted income of $244.9 million, which is $8 million less than the previous year. Rural living rates will drop by 6%. According to Morn Pen News, the Shire is yet to detail its COVID-19 measures. Councillor Hugh Fraser has told the paper that the pandemic is likely to hit the Shire's bottom line. Frankston Council has released details of a proposed $3.4 million redevelopment of Ballon Park. Improvements will include car parking, pathways, an adventure playground, a sloped grass terrace for better views of the sports fields, picnic lawns, water features and sculptures. Frankston Mayor Sandra Mayer said the redevelopment would build on a terrific asset. You can go online to the council website to view the plans. A number of local businesses have turned their hand to new ventures to help out at this time. Jimmy Rum in Dramana is now making hand sanitizer, as are New Tech Paint in Seaford and Bass and Flinders Distillery in Dramana. As we mentioned last week, fishing gear factory Burley Pro in Somerville is making face masks for frontline workers. Don't forget to support local businesses from home, wherever and whenever you can. Farrell's Bookshop in Mornington is taking phone and online orders and doing some home deliveries. Morn Pen News is publishing guides of local food businesses that are now offering takeaway and home delivery services. Let's help each other get through this as best we can. And now for the weather with Lisa.
Lisa Lenoble bringing you the Mornington Peninsula 6-day forecast this Thursday, the 16th of April. Today we'll see a minimum of 15 and a maximum of 21. Partly cloudy, high chance of a shower, most likely in the morning. Winds northerly 30 to 45 k's turning westerly 25 to 35 k's early in the morning, then increasing to 30 to 45 k's in the middle of the day. On Friday, we'll have a minimum of 11 and a maximum of 19. Partly cloudy, medium chance of a shower, winds westerly 30 to 45 k's. On Saturday, we'll see a minimum of 11 and a maximum of 17. Cloudy, medium chance of a shower, most likely in the morning. Winds will be westerly 25 to 35 k's, tending southwesterly 20 to 30 k's during the afternoon. On Sunday, we'll have a minimum of 10 and a maximum of 18. Partly cloudy, medium chance of a shower. Winds will be northwest to westerly 15 to 20 k's, tending northerly during the morning. Monday, we'll see a minimum of 11 and a maximum of 19. Cloudy, high chance of a shower. Winds northerly 25 to 40 k's, turning west to northwesterly 15 to 25 k's later in the day. On Tuesday, minimum of 11 and a maximum of 19. Partly cloudy, medium chance of a shower. Winds will be westerly 15 to 25 k's. Well, that's it for this week's weather. I'm Lisa Lenoble. Thanks so much for listening and watching. Sorry I couldn't bring you a Zoom video weather forecast this week. With the homeschooling up on us, this is the first week. It's posing some challenging moments. So I hope that once things settle down, I'll bring you another video forecast next week on RPPV. Be safe, take care, and I'll see you soon.
And that's all from our team here at RPPV News, serving the community with stories that matter to you. Stay home, stay safe, wash your hands, and get your flu shots. Keep watching and tell your friends. Bringing you the news from coast to coast across the Mornington Peninsula, I'm Catie Sharp. See you for the next edition.